I don't know if it was really problems that the Kings gave us. I just felt like we had some problems with getting back in transition and closing out to the shooters, I would say.
Coach said that quick timeout, especially when he put the second unit in the game, he was just looking for a spark and energy. You guys tried, but it just wasn't there for you guys tonight. In the minutes that you were able to be on the floor with that second unit, what did you see that you guys were doing that impacted the game though?
Everybody was touching the ball. We were moving the ball. When one person had the ball, everybody wasn't just standing around. They were moving, great cuts, and I feel like we were just playing really good team basketball.
And then my last question, you did mention just making the improvements defensively. You said transition as well. What is the next step for you guys defensively? What area is that growth needing to be in?
Getting back in transition for sure. Communication, being vocal leaders on the floor. I definitely think that's a big thing. Just definitely being vocal and making sure that we're communicating with each other so we know what spots we're supposed to be in.
Kelsey Russo, The Athletic. JaVale, you had 18 points tonight. In your time on the floor, what were you seeing from the Kings defense that just allowed you to have so much success right at the rim?
I really just feel like it was my teammates. The guys I was in with, they were finding me. They were moving. They were keeping the other opponents occupied by moving without the ball. So it was opening up the lane. And then when I was passing it off, they were making quick moves and quick decisions and giving it back. So it was definitely just a team effort, if anything.
And then when, Colin has a night like last time where he scores 36 points and has such a huge impact, then tonight where he scored 15, does it kind of just continue to show you just the impact that he has on a nightly basis for this team offensively?
Definitely has a crazy impact on this team. I feel like he's the main scoring threat, if anything. But guys definitely, when he's not shooting the ball well, guys definitely have to pick him up, bench guys and starters.
Thanks.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, JaVale. You've mentioned being more vocal, and a couple of guys have mentioned that as well. Do you feel like this is a naturally quiet team out on the court?
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's a lot of personalities who never were put in that position to have to yell at somebody or tell somebody to go here, go there, without feeling that awkwardness of are we still friends type thing. So it's definitely a energy that has to be taught. I don't think you're just born with that energy to be able to vocalize how you feel about something without offending the next player or coming down, having your teammate feeling a certain way. But it's definitely something that can be learned.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, if it's something that can be learned. And if it can be learned, like, is it something that takes years? Does it take weeks, months?
No, it don't take years at all. It can take weeks. It just takes that switch in someone's mind. You telling that player, hey, we need you to be vocal. And it's literally a switch. I wasn't always vocal in playing in basketball, but just playing with the guys that I play with, some of the greats that I play with, being vocal is something that I definitely realized that they did a lot, and I picked that up.
And then, JaVale, from a personal standpoint, how hard is this time of year with the trade deadline right around the corner and guys not knowing where they're going to be in a couple of days?
It's definitely hard when you're in the trade talks as a younger player, I feel like, but as an older player, as myself, I've been in trade talks plenty of years, plenty of times. So I've figured out how to block it out and play my game and just focus on what I have to do where I'm at on the team that I'm at. And if something happens to trade deadline, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So you really never know.
What methods have you learned over the years to be able to block that out?
Just lock in and play your game and don't worry about anything else. All you can control is what you do out there on the court in the minutes that you're given. So you got to make sure you lock in and that's all you really can do.
Thanks, man.
All right, last one, Ashley. Hey, JaVale, Ashley Bastock, the Akron Beacon Journal. Just to go back to the mass substitution that happened in the first quarter, I guess just what were you telling some of the younger guys that you then went out there with? And just overall, how seriously do you take the leadership role you have on this team when you guys are in a situation like that?
I take my leadership role extremely serious. Before we even knew that we were all going to go in at the same time, because usually it's more sporadic. It's more one of us at a time. I was telling the second unit, I was like, second unit, we got to pick up the first unit. We definitely got to go out there with great energy, and we got to do some great things out there. And I felt like that second unit came in there very, very locked in on the defensive end, and we were moving the ball on the offensive end, and we were playing as a team when we were out there for sure.
All right. Thank you, JaVale. Appreciate it.
I had one more thing to say. I know my mother's going to be mad at me if I don't say this, but she texted me before the game and told me to have 18, 10, and 3. So I thought that was crazy that she told me to do that. I literally I was one rebound away, even though we lost, which isn't good, but I had to say that because she would be mad at me, the fact that she literally